Now, it's a relative rarity on Extra Time that West Ham United lead us off. Actually, I'm not sure that's true. Maybe when Shaq is here.
Well, hopefully not too
us off. But we've got another former West Ham player in.
So what's your point, Adrian?
So actually, maybe West Ham always lead us off. Should Declan Rice, Stewart, stay at West Ham and become immortal, or leave and conquer Europe?
He's a very good holding midfield player. He can play at centre half. Is he good enough to play at the very top level? When I say that, I'm talking about playing for the top teams in the top four. I think at the moment, maybe not. So he should stay at West Ham, I think, for another couple of seasons, develop himself into a top-class player, and then lots of clubs will be after him.
Immortality beckons if he does that, apparently.
For a couple of years.
Yeah.
Look, I can tell you that he was more consistent, and certainly not nearly as talented, but more consistent than Paul Pogba was this year, for example.
That's true.
You know
Different sort of player.
Yeah, different type of player. But you know what you were going to get from Declan Rice, whereas you didn't know what you were going to get from Paul Pogba from week to week. So take that for what it's worth. But I think there's a development of Declan Rice that continues to improve and continues to get better, and that's what you want.
People are going to say out there, they're just going to deepen Ali's dislike of Manchester United and Paul Pogba with it. You know that's coming.
I really don't care, to be honest, but I never said that. I said not as talented as Paul Pogba.
You didn't. I'm just saying what they're going to say.
Why are you saying what they're going to say instead of what we just talked about?
He's got the inside track with those people out there.
How many people are you in touch with?
Yeah. Who are those people anyway? Who are they?
Paul, you wanted to weigh in on Declan Rice, didn't you?
Look, I agree with Robbo. I think that, this is a bright young player. He's dangerous in the attacking box. He's not quite there yet, I agree. I think if he just stays another 12 months, 18 months, I think if he develops, then he can become...
Because the thing he's got to develop is his passing range. He reads danger, makes tackles, he's good awareness, but he hasn't got that passing range to take him to the next level yet.
Arsenal need to sign him.
That's more Declan Rice than we've ever spoken about on this show, by the way. Craig Burley's beard. Craig hasn't been on the show much this week. Has he told you that? Yeah. His beard is here. More likely to occur in a match. You should adjudicate this, Stewie. Ali scoring a sitter or Paul breaking his nose?
Well, I've seen a lot of Ali's sitters, and he scored most of them, so that's a great probability.
Never missed.
Have you seen the size of his bugle? There's every possibility. Every possibility he could break it.
Dan Thomas, Chris and me, what's the mascot?
Irvin,
the Schalke mascot, which is highly insulting. And I'll be
factually correct.
When do you take it off? Do you do that way and take it off?
What's he piling on for? Look, when you have a schnoz like this and you're as brave as a lion...
Was it that size when you played football?
I hope it was, yeah.
It wasn't all those breaks you had.
I had... The first time I got it busted, I was a young kid. I was at Plymouth Argyle. We were playing at Port Vale. And this absolute maniac of a central defender. I was running him ragged. I could run around in those days.
Did I hear you right? Running ragged.
That tells you how long ago it was.
Running ragged.
That tells you how long ago we're talking.
We're lined up for a set piece, and I'm just naively waiting for it to be crossed in. And this guy, because the referees weren't watching, he just nutted me right in the bugle, busted me schnoz wide open.
Mind you, you got your own back over many years, didn't you?
Of course. Well, you've witnessed it.
How many times did you break it?
Just 3 times.
Oh, I broke it twice.
Is that how it's listed on the injury report? Bugle banged up?
Bugle banged up,
Bugle busted.
But still available, though.
Bugle busted. Yeah.
Still available.
Bugle busted.
Ali, let me tell you, when he was playing, he was one of those.
He dished it out as well as he received it.
Once when he was at Portsmouth. And I went up for a header, whack across the nose.
Gab, I'll let you start in on the next one first. Luka Jovic, we talked about him in the top 10 under-21 players. Is he going to be a good fit for Real Madrid, do you think?
I think a lot depends on how they use him, because obviously this season at Eintracht he played a lot alongside, really big, physical, but also pretty clever player in Sebastian Haller. There was a lot of interchange. Of course, he's a guy who can go wide, come inside. I don't know. Karim Benzema, I assume, is sticking around, and given that Florentino loves Benzema, and when things go wrong, people want Benzema back in. I just wonder, is Jovic going to have to adapt to somehow floating around him? Is he going to play wide? You've got Vinicius, of course, coming back as well. You have Asensio still there. I hope they have a plan for him, because I think he needs minutes on the pitch and he needs time to go and adapt to a new club. And sometimes at Real Madrid, a young player can kind of get chucked into the mix, doesn't work out with him for 2-3 months, and then he disappears.
You sensed a no.
I sensed a no there from Gab. That was he wasn't quite sure about that one, was he? Jovic to Real Madrid being a success?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
With Wilfried Zaha, Stewart, take this, reportedly wanting to leave Crystal Palace. Who do you think, A, could afford him, and B, he would fit best at?
Well, he had his chance at Manchester United.
He
went there and he did a whole load of stuff, but...
You can never say that we're not touching all over the scope, huh? Declan Rice and
Zaha
Wilfried
now.
Zaha.
Zaha had his chance.
Luka Jovic, I mean...
Mariner and Moreno's goal scoring exploit. We're doing it all.
He's a very individual player.
Full spectrum.
I'm not sure any of the top clubs are going to take him. Maybe a top...
Is he not good enough for a top
An
six?
Everton or somebody like that would take it. No, I don't think he's good enough for a top six. His decision-making isn't always right. He's an individual player, and at the big sides, they won't allow him to be the individual.
All right, the final provider of a question today, the interestingly titled Wigan Athletic USA, in brackets Will Jones. So there's just one of them for Wigan in this country. For Paul...
Yep.
Are you okay, Adrian?
I was just intrigued by it. What time of day is dinner?
Well, it depends.
Says Will.
It depends where we are. If we're in the States, it's around about 6-ish. But if we're in England, it's around about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Because that's what we call dinner.
We have dinner.
Oh, depends whether you're posh.
But then what do you have after dinner?
No, I was just about to dig in with that. I mean, obviously I'm from the north, Stewart's from the south. He's very, very posh. I'm more of a peasant type of a fellow, and we
Ali, when would you say dinner is?
I would say around 7 or whenever I get home, to be
7!
honest
See,
with
he's
you.
posh.
Yeah,
He's posh.
yeah, he's posh. But in England, we'd say in the south, dinner is in the evening, lunch is at lunchtime.
Well,
not
exactly.
dinner at lunchtime,
That's
is it?
why you're posh. Look, Wigan Athletic USA.
Well, that's not posh, is it, Wigan?
I'm sure he's familiar that dinner most weeks is a meat and potato pie.
Yeah.
Game over.
And that's tea, yeah?
And that's tea.
The evening meal is
And
tea.
dinner.
Yeah. And
Wait a minute. So, wait a minute.
And supper?
So when you eat at night, what's that called then?
Tea.
And dinner?
No, dinner's at lunch.
Or is supper late at night?
Isn't tea something you
No,
drink?
tea's not tea. No, tea's tea.
Oh, tea is tea.
Tea's tea.
They used to say tea time.
Because
in the rough areas. Oh, let's have tea time now, and it's at 6 o'clock.
The Great Divide, obviously, just above Watford and all the London geezers like Robbo.
You don't
That's
like
the
them, huh?
north. No, that's the north. It's like Game of Thrones here.
It all depends whether you turn right or left on the
Yes,
plane.
I know where you're going.
Gab, you're a man of fine culinary education and taste. Maybe you should have the final say on this.
Well, first of all, I'm delighted that Ali didn't ask him about supper, too, because that would have ended up complicating things even further. No, look, for me, in winter, which is often in season, where there's games at night, you have dinner at 7:30, and then you eat later in summer, like 8:30, maybe even 9 o'clock. Obviously, if you live in a country that doesn't have seasons, because it's like the north of England, where it's dark and cold all night, I can understand Mara's dilemma there.
I can tell you, I don't know how people eat at 9 o'clock at night. If I sit down and have a full meal 9 o'clock at night, I cannot sleep.
Yeah.
Right? I'm dreaming that my wife is stabbing me and all this other thing.
Really?
Well, that may be another
That
issue.
might be a good reason to take some supper.
Do go on.
I'm just saying, I got all sorts of nightmares and things and such. I don't want any of that, and I can't sleep.
Was she enjoying doing it at the time?
Well, she was double knifed up.
Did you miss the part where I'm getting stabbed?
Yeah,
right?
I said, did she enjoy doing it?
I don't know. I was trying to survive it. Didn't do well.
That's very difficult to survive.
I like your assessment that dinner comes whenever extra time ends.
Correct.
Which sometimes
Yes.
is a long wait.
Depends whether you're presenting or not.
Yes.
Oh,
And depending on the producer of the day as well.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow after dinner or supper or tea.
Lunch.
One of them.